All right, so what do we have here? We have the corn patch, the sweet corn patch, and we planted whatever, about 900, let's just say 1,000 just to be even here. About 1,000 corn plants in here. Not all of them grew, of course. I just ran the tiller through here. I spread the rows out enough to just run the tiller through, so that got rid of most of our weeds. Probably should have cared for this about 2 weeks ago. It would have been a little easier. But, well, every goat on our farm just about has given birth over the last week or two, so we've been busy with hay and other things. But what I want to show you guys is I'm going to go through and I have to hand weed this. It's just part of organic gardening. I'm not spraying any kind of herbicides. I'm not going through here and spraying anything like that. And so, you know, organic gardening is just a lot harder. You don't get as high of yields, and it takes a lot more work. That's just part of the deal. But if you look at this, you'll notice, see this patch right here? See how tall these corn plants are right in the middle here? Then you kind of go down, and we've got a little dip right there, and then you get taller again. And you got a dip right there, and then you get taller again. And coming down here, these ones are kind of low, and then they get real tall again right here, real good patch. And right back there, you got a real good patch. What happened was when we put our compost in here, I didn't heavily compost this area. I didn't heavily fertilize it with compost because we were running low. We didn't have a huge stash left, and I still had the pumpkin patch to plant. And we dumped it in here with the loader. So it was a pile right here, and then I came through the shovel and tried to spread it out, throw it around, and then came through and dumped another load, bucket load right there, and tried to throw it around and spread it out. And that's where those corn stalks are doing the best. Look at that right there. That is a beautiful sweet corn plant for this time of year. They normally say knee high by the 4th of July. Well, there's my knee. And the top of the plant is already there. It's not even the 4th of July yet. So this is where things should be, not down here. Well, I think that looks much better, and now that we have some fresh compost, some fresh manure around these smaller plants, I think we're going to see a boost in growth here. So you know, these all get about the same sunlight during the day. These all, you know, nothing else is different. They've not been watered any different or anything like that. But that composted manure, where I dumped that, I tried to spread it out, but where it was thickest, you can see the huge difference in growth. I mean, the difference between these little guys here, I'm gonna get you down at their level. The difference from, you know, these guys right here to these tall ones, I mean, they're over twice as tall and much healthier, growing in that nitrogen-rich composted manure. See the whole row along the grass here. So all the way along the lawn, this is the smallest plants out of all of them, all the way along. And there's two reasons for that. Number one, I didn't get a lot of compost spread right to the edge. Number two, it's fighting with the grass. So the grass, I mean, corn is a grass, so they're both fighting for the same exact nutrients, same water, and mostly nitrogen. Clearing all those weeds out of there is going to make a huge difference for this corn also. It's not competing for those nutrients. I laid all of the weeds back down in between all these beds here. So all the nitrogen that they have taken up, all the nutrients that they've taken up during this whole time, that gets right back into the soil. That'll break right back down. Worms and bugs will take care of it, and mosses and mildews and funguses and all that good stuff will tear that stuff down, release the nutrients back to the plants. I was also able to I had some hay bales that some hay got wrecked this year. I did a video on that earlier this year about some rained on hay that I had. And basically this is just grass also. No, this is stemmy, so only the nitrogen is really only in the leaves of the hay. There's still a lot of nitrogen that will get released from this hay, and also a lot of carbon. This is going to help keep weeds down in here, and also slowly throughout the season release some nitrogen into the soil. It's also going to hold a lot of moisture around these plants. So as my rain starts to get further and further apart here in the summertime in July and August, this will hold that moisture into the ground really well for me, so I don't have to water quite as much. So what's the secret to growing your corn twice as quickly and twice as healthy? Fresh manure compost, or compost from your gardens, whatever you have available to you. Natural compost is the absolute best fertilizer. Now, of course, you can buy fertilizers. You can buy nitrogen fertilizers, Miracle-Gros, and all that stuff. And you want a real heavy nitrogen content fertilizer for these grass type vegetables like corn, especially during the early stages where there's just this burst of leafy growth. But why spend your money on nitrogen fertilizers? Why spend your money on a bunch of chemicals? There's natural ways to do these things. If you don't have, you know, I put a lot of rabbit manure in here. That's what that was, rabbit bedding, rabbit manures and rabbit bedding, as well as goat manures, goat bedding, some chicken manures, chicken bedding. That's what went in here. Some of it wasn't even composted down yet. It was fresh out of the rabbit cages. That stuff will slowly release, and it will release all the nutrients that these plants need throughout the season. If you don't have animal manure available to you and bedding, start a kitchen compost. Kitchen compost is a great way to fertilize vegetables. Real high nitrogen content when you have a lot of those, all your vegetable scraps and things like that in there. Grass clippings are another great way to add nitrogen back to the soil. Grass is basically, there's a lot of nitrogen in green grass clippings. Put those in, and as that breaks down, that will provide nitrogen for your corn as well. You can buy bagged manure if you have to. Go to Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, any of the places that sell garden supplies. You can buy bags of animal manure broken down and composted down perfectly for you. It's a great way to feed these plants. So as this corn patch grows, I will come back out here probably in 30 days and put another round of grass clippings or animal manures, whatever I have ready and available around me at that time. And that'll give this corn that last boost into producing fruit, the corn, which is what we're looking for here. So hopefully that helped somebody out. I really was amazed at how much quicker the corn grew that got that compost and manure. I thought we had pretty decent soil, we wouldn't need to amend that much, but there's a huge difference in that corn that got the compost and the corn that didn't. So proof that how well the compost and manures especially works for corn in particular. So hopefully this helps somebody out. Thumbs up on the video, guys, if you found it informational and educational and entertaining at all. And subscribe to our channel if you'd like to follow along. We've got all kinds of gardening stuff coming out this summer, as well as all kinds of other things that you would find on any standard farm. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.